喂，好，那今天呢又要新开篇章啦。One Stories, The Path of Destinies.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him.
The 节奏有点快，我有点跟不上他的故事。读去好久。
The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Reynardo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." "Oh, damn it." The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him.
哇，这模组 spin to it， 莫名其妙。这模组我觉得不行啊，不太行啊。真的。
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. Hey, Renato said. They cocked their heads at him. Pick on someone as ugly as you. Wait, that didn't come out right. For the Emperor! The ravens called.
For the Emperor! L 加正方形。哦。哎呀，没挡好。哎呀，没挡好。
Dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
按住正方形抓取，瞄准，投掷，掰，掰，
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship Docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels. Or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere. And neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renato going to get a hero sword? Ore and wind essence? That sounds about right. Perfect.
英雄之剑还没做，然后
A hero sword, QED.
虚空之人，东京级，火焰风暴，所以就4把剑。好像没有回避耶，这游戏。
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renato's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. How'd you get across? He asked the kid. Where'd you find a hook? I hopped, said the kid. Wise-ass kid. Hey, look out behind you. Cute, said Renato. Ah, oh, Raven.
真的有乌鸦。
It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it? Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
学新技能。 每当升级都会获得技能点，在散布在波瑞阿斯内的各个祭坛上点技能，以获得强力的能力或增强已获得的能力。好的，好的。
It was starting to come back to him. Something you've never
You
completely
know
forgot.
nothing.
Like how to freeze time when attacking.
什么意思？
The more he fought,
好，
the more he'd probably remember.
冲刺，为什么选不到冲刺？原级，猛烈防御，速度冲刺，一次超自然冲刺。回避就是这个啦。时间，剑之魔法。好。好长哦，这个。
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. Stop! He shouted. I'm not giving you the book! Shouted the kid, and took off. No! Peter! But the kid ran for it.
87
And a goggler
雷队友。
nailed him with its ivy.
The
book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Renato picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
这个旁白是不是就是雷纳德本人啊？我觉得有这个可能性。
What was the big deal about this book?
哎，我的矿石！
Open it and find out.
我的矿石啊！
All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. Where are you running, rebel? Cawed the Raven captain over the loudhailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. Just going out for milk? Renato yelled back. Where can you run? Laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind it, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. Take us to the rebel base, and we'll spare your life! It called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven, a sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time, unless Renato could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon would win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could only rescue him. Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper.
哇！救人还是拿神器呢？神器是只有空壳。救人好了。
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble given time, but he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse.
别在意那只长着翅膀了吧？
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But
兔兔时节。
where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled
No，
the
我的
Ravens?
矿石。哦，让我做新的剑吗？水之井不够，好。哦，哎，破土了，破土了，破土了，破土了，破土了，破土了，破。超级破土。
Renato had seen villages emptied like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding. Renato's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
没有，我只是想要呢 ，Bronze Sword。我只是想要找点材料而已。 开门，开门！
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renato. No?
Show me your moves.
Ravens were landing everywhere.
完美。
The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, they'd eat him for breakfast.
这打起来跟那个
A snack. Ravens weren't
刺客教条前几代一样
If。they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Where had the Mad Rabbit got to?
不行，我还是觉得有点糊糊的。等我一下啊。为什么温忍？为什么温忍图形？勾。这样画面看起来舒服多了。啊。
Renato felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that. It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
哎呀，一次两只 ，baby。那不完美。
Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
连击。攻击反射成功的反击将减缓时间流逝，持续至下个动作。哦。再跑快一点。又破图啦，大哥。噔噔，完美。哪一个好呢？哪一个好？先加生命值好了。这一看就是虚空之剑。破土啊，超级破土。
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, his only daughter. That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
绑架女王跟神器。神器好了，我想选神器。
To make the Sky Ripper, the Transcendent Emperor had wrapped an armature around the eye of a god. Bernardo had already let that armature slip away to save Lupino's life. But even its core, the eye torn from a god, surely they could fashion a great weapon from that.
The core of the Sky Ripper?
Lupino's excited.
That's an actual thing that we could just go and get. You've been busy.
He sure had. Bernardo told him all the things he'd been up to. Soon they got to talking about old times, about wages they'd won and lost, and scrapes they'd barely got out of. It was good to be back with his friend. Bernardo grinned. He had a very good feeling about this.
这个配音员好厉害哦！他透过了语调和讲话速度啊、节奏的不同，他很厉害的呈现出了好几个角色之间的特点，就是你一听就知道他在扮演这个角色，而且很适合这个角色，就好厉害哦！
But something was not quite right.
哦，好那个。
Who needed bridges anyway?
哦，真方便，真方便，可以传回来。这个是什么？跳下去。哦，分歧路线吗？ 好多宝箱啊
I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Renato.
我还蛮喜欢这种有
There
旁白
was
的。
something sour in the air, like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
还蛮喜欢这种有旁白的游戏，因为有些时候他们可以非常非常好的点缀这游戏。 哇哦，底下那个都是漂浮着的，这个桥也是漂浮着的。哇哦！嗷！啊！ 应该用闪躲的。不完美。
Renato felt wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest
Oh.
was quieter than it had been. There were insects, but few birds. If you didn't count the ravens. Renado smelled sick animals and dying ones. And no healthy ones. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, Renado thought. Maybe Lupino was right. Maybe he should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Perfecto.
Renado had learned so much about... Ooh, what was it again?
What was it again? What was it again? What was it again? 啊，念不好，好卡哦。耶。
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renado felt queasy, like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renado ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renado ached to be rid of it.
Tell you what, said Lupino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost.
The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it
Oh.
could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Renado. But what if Lupino got the core and then broke it or lost it? Or worse, was Renado ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
好，我决定相信他，我决定相信他。
Trust me, Renado, you won't regret this. I'll treat the core like it was my own baby daughter.
As the Farfarer dived towards the Nexus, Lupino was jumping up and down with excitement. Stop rabbiting around, Renado said. Lupino just stared at him. The moment the ship landed, Lupino leapt off the ship.
不错啊，还蛮好玩的这游戏。虽然打架还蛮简单。
As
信任。
Lupino vanished into the wilds of the
等一
Nexus,
下，哎，破图没有嘞，赞。
Vaguely remembered, Lupino had a baby daughter, didn't he?
and he told her mother he was going out to get some Easter eggs, and he'd never come back. But Renado was relieved not to carry the core anymore. He was already feeling better. And who knows, maybe this time Lupino would get it right. And if Renado could take the outpost, he'd have access to all the Empire's communications in the sector. Right?
还是破图啦。
Getting a horse up in one of these things. He would be cursing a blue streak.
他让我很认真的思考，我到底要不要重开游戏了。哦，帧数掉下来了，帧数掉下来了。哇，在这张不行啊，我的电脑，老电脑终究是要不行了吗？
Once, he found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
超人第1集，最好是会在罐子里面打到这种东西。耶，矿石！好，看一下，那里的话我还进不去，所以传回去。哎呀，还有一个没打破，算了。喂！哦，这是什么？躲开魔术师的演奏，他的爆炸将会波及证据够高。可以断他招哎，棒！耶！那完美。这游戏的战斗其实还蛮简单的，说真的。我还没打破，我还没打破，我没有打破它。哦 ，nice。哦，矿石可以升我的英雄之剑呢。可是没看到有工作台啊。
Renato caught his breath.
Oh.
His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore. He'd let the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lupino. Of course he had to let Lupino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right?
对。
A crafting bench. Renato wondered what he could do with it.
制作剑，升级货。可以做风。不对。好吧。按住 R2 激活魔法剑，激活剑将消耗能量。好。哦，生命值会随着时间恢复，之前会消耗能量。哦。治疗之剑。哦，我要怎么过去？那个红色宝箱看起来就有很多值钱的东西。打架。哎呀，够快 ！I need healing。耗的有点快。Finders Keepers.
Renato took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon he was stuffing his sack with key messages from to the fleet.
过了。
One message caught his
等一下，
attention.
红色宝箱呢？
A high priority order has been given by the Emperor himself to locate something called the Iblis.
我的宝箱
It
啊！
was somewhere on a desert island. Renato had a bad feeling about this. Iblis was the name of one of the lost gods. If the Emperor was diverting ravens to search for it, maybe he should try to find it first. Then the Farspeaker Toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens. Lapino and all the scientists had been taken to the mountains.
雷包，
Why?
雷包，
Why had he trusted Lapino again? And now the Empire had the core. Renato hailed the rebel base to warn them. But their Farspeaker didn't croak back. Was the base under attack too?
反叛者基地。我也要把核心拿回。等一下，我拿得到核心吗？去救他的话。有雷包啊！我选好呢。算了，我不想去救那个雷包了。
Lapino would have to wait. The core would have to wait. Renato had a very bad feeling that something was going terribly wrong at the rebel base. Its location was secret, but secrets can be discovered.
可恶，浪费我的时间去救一个雷包。
Everywhere in the ruins, and dead civilians. The ravens were killing everything in sight. Renato was relieved to see.
亮闪闪，等我一下，我调个设定。
The Empire using here. The core had great power. Had they harnessed it somehow, even though they didn't have the armature? He wasn't that good. Yet.
走哪里好呢？走这里会到哪里？那刚刚那个呢？那个门开了又会去哪里？不 bug， 被我玩出 bug 了。哎，捡不到，捡不到。
See what I did there?
它有些地方瑕疵啊，其实现在玩起来还不错，这样子玩还不错。每次看到这个破图，我就很想笑。
When Renato went to the china shop, for some reason the owner was always nervous.
吐槽吐起来，都不够。哦，还没有，算了。
good to practice your moves, thought Renato. Limber.
直接把他们拉下去。Nice.
There was an engraving. Maximum capacity, 130 people.
哪载得到这么多人啊？哦，等一下，我觉得我可能要再回去一趟。那能不能回去？拿不到那些东西。好吧，可能待会。哦，来了耶！可以，可以，可以，很可以。连击防御反射猛烈防御。先点点看好
Missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like it was at a reunion.
Anger management.
He could smell
The good,
charred
the
flesh
bad,
and
and
hear
the
screams.
grand.
The ruins were on fire. The Ravens had rigged up the core as some kind of burning ray. They wouldn't need to know the secret location. They were burning everything. It was killing them too. Their black feathers littered the path. He would have to take the core from them. It was the last thing he wanted to do.
Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun.
Well,
Oh,
the eyes
fuck.
have had it.
Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Oh, nice. 我可以直接砍死他们诶，那为什么要晕他们呢？哈哈哈哈，选择砍死就好了。
Huh? A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs. The rebel base seemed quiet. That was good. Also, it seemed to be burning. That wasn't so good.
有一个红宝箱，我好想拿哦。哎呀，可恶！我的完美就被你破坏掉了。机车。
Hero wall. Hero sword.
Ice War。
Ice.
哇，密刀
As the
哎！
last raven fell, Bernardo felt worse than he ever had. The core was killing him again. The council members cautiously came out into the smoke. You saved us, croaked the speaker. They would put the weaponized core deep in a cavern, she promised, where its poison could harm no one. They would heal him if they could, she said. No, it's a weapon now. We need one. I'll lead the charge. It will kill you, croaked the speaker. I guess it already has, Bernardo said. She bobbed her head gravely. When all this is over, she said, we'll name our new capital city for you. He flew towards the Imperial fleet, a myriad ships in disciplined formation, waiting for the signal to destroy the rebellion forever. Behind him, the rebels were charging. If he failed, they would die. And so the final battle began.
这么快？这么快就最后一战了？如果这游戏有第二轮的话，我绝对不要再去救那只兔子，雷包。
Everything hurt. It was unpleasant to fight this way. With each blow he struck with his sword, he felt weaker. Yet each time the core fired, it got brighter. As if the heat from the burning ravens and buildings only fed its hunger. He wondered where Lapino was. Wasn't he supposed to be in the battle? No.
哎，我会，哎，我会随时间存血。
Was smoky now, like the burning fleet. He hoped this wouldn't take long.
我随时间一直在存血。
Don't look down, he thought. Awesome.
吼吼！补给箱，这种时候就是应该出一大堆补那个补血补魔的。哦，出发，还是破土吗？还是破土。
This thing really needed a roof.
哎，哦，好，用抓的。Nice。等一下，我看一下回头路有没有其他路可以走啊？前没有，往后没有，好，那就往前。不是，那就往前，那就前进吧。
right by his side.
不完美。
Reynardo Opulus. Vulpus Major.
啊！
Lando Nardo. If they were going to name a capital city after him, well, he just wished he had a better name. Where was Lupino? He missed Lupino's bitter outbursts. Or did he? Lupino had gotten him into this mess, hadn't he? The core was a wonderful weapon. It swept fire across the fleet. Ravens exploded in its gaze, and with every heartbeat, it grew brighter. He would die.
可是我快挂了。
But he would die every inch a hero. Spectacularly, changing history like the legendary heroes of yore. Or was it hero? He couldn't remember anymore. Bernardo had learned so much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
快挂啦！我要补血，没血没魔，脚挂啦！噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔43，完了，我就撑不到最后哎。 哦，好。耶，补血的，补血的，耶，补血的。
Reynardo fell to his knees. The Emperor's bodyguards were lined up before his ship. Fierce ravens all. And Zenobia. She was conjuring. He could not take another step. All he could do was fire the core. The ravens, Zenobia, the ship, all burst into flames, disintegrated, and blew away. So they had one, after all. The core grew brighter. He shielded his eyes, but he could still see it through his sleeves and through the flesh of his arm. And then he felt heat as the fire grew to consume both fleets. And then he felt nothing. Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
啊，新真相已揭露，裂空者核心不稳定。宇宙沙漠庙宇啊，嘿，1/4真相已揭露。
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices.
好
He
玩
wouldn't
呢
make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
哦，好，那先选伊比利斯之石，裂空者，选裂空者，这次我选裂空者。
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces deep. And then, this Emperor's horrific sacrifices had brought it back to the surface. Renato wasn't exactly sure how to use the legendary weapon. But surely, there must be some way to do it without provoking another catastrophe. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the Earth? It was more than Renato could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it. As he set foot on the island, Renato could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
等一下哦，有惊叹哦，我可以学技能。好，等一下，哦，不对，是我可以做东西了。回头走另外一边呢，我想把能走的道路都摸一摸。那边看起来是主线，所以有个雕像在那里。啊哈，果然。Thank you。这么多的可能性哦
This burning sword from the south was terrific for barbecuing sausages and ravens.
「燃烧敌人」。哇，怎么又是这个
Sleep tight, thought Renato.
对不对？不是这个。啊，我不是有其他的剑吗？ 啊，太快了啦！他这个速度太快了。能不能调啊？看一下哦。如果1、2、3、4，哦，好。好，我可以用。好，没关系，我可以这样，我可以用键盘来选择我的键。嗯嗯嗯，闪退，闪退。那我的记录怎么办？哇，等一下吧。老实说，一款意外的还不错的游戏，我本来不抱太大期待的，但还不错。虽然做的很简单，然后也没有对王的战斗，可是它每个选择不一样，这还蛮有趣的。这样我是要重打吗？缺点是读取好久，不然就是我该换 SSD 了。
As he set foot on the island,
哇，
Renato
重
could
打
not help but feel a tinge of
关机
guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out.
我每次都是随
The
机的
Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it? This burning sword from the south was terrific for barbecuing sausages and ravens.
烤香肠和乌鸦。水质是 A， 这样子我又可以做另外一把了。这矿石应该是够的。耶，果然。
This sword from the frigid north was really useful for making popsicles and birdsicles.
好丑、哦，这把剑的剑柄。
2 eyes good. 1 eye dead.
2 eyes good, 1 eye dead.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Sky Ripper could destroy anything it touched, or so the legend said. As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the lost gods, thousands had died.
Oh,对哦，
But Renato
还
had
没
been
点击
through wars. The only merciful war was a short one.
真剑术，不受距离限制的攻击敌人，再导弹某个。哦，好诶。哦，点这个好了，我什么都想点。
That could be useful.
哦，等一下，右边有路可以去，我可以直接抓过去吗？不行，有别的手段。哎呀，我可以打开这个了。Nice. Explorer. 还是破土哎。
Renato wanted one for his house.
好吧，我觉得是我的显卡不够了。没办法，算了，其他玩起来没有问题就算了。Oh, nice. Oh,
a gem. All he needed now was a workbench, and he could slot it into his gauntlet.
工作台，工作台，工作台。工作台，工作，啊，算了，工作台好像在很前面的地方。哎呦！风格极好。
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
虚空之剑我好像还没做，所以就算了。Skip。哦，哦，有点多。
Renato hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them.
还有啊。 Nice.
Unwounded.
Close your eyes.这个游戏啊，哦，等一下哦。啊哈，果然。
That was always a rush.
掉下去了。The hell?
See? With enough leverage, you could go anywhere.
火箭。哦。
Those sheaves were really very well made, weren't they?
哦，人真好哎，还会特别多准备一只乌鸦给我。
A gem of power.
破盾者。
Oh, he didn't find those every day. There had to be a way to use the Sky Ripper without causing a catastrophe. Why? Maybe it's always dangerous, he imagined Zenobia saying. Yeah, always the voice of reason, that one. Well, there had to be a way to use the Sky Ripper because not being able to use it was boring. So there.
这一句算是重要提示吗？我觉得。这个要先点，这个盾还太麻烦了。哈哈。
There it was. Sky Ripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Sky Ripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him. It was a no-brainer. He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature. And the armature was useless by itself, only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices, and he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the greatest good no matter how much it cost him. Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that. The power was in the core. Obviously, he had to get the core.
He had to get the core.
He looked up at the old trees around him. They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he was born, and they'd be there after he'd passed into legend. Was he confronting his own unimportance? What had got into him? He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cared? He was plenty important. He was a hero, and soon he'd prove it.
Nice。你的攻击只盾名解除他们的护盾，我以前会用抓的，所以没关系。那下一个哦，可以。好，反正我现在只有2个，那就多装。啊，新的东西。嫩。啊哈。
This stone was incredibly valuable. Reynardo could sense it. Also, it still had its price tag.
啊，死掉应该也有一个结局，我在想，就是主角打到一半挂掉了，应该也有一个结局。
Reynardo had been the terror of the sandcastles when he was 2.
所以才要一直敲碎这些吗？
Something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. What's there? You almost never saw wild gogglers together like this. The toads had to train them not to peck each other to death. So these had to be imperial gogglers. That meant ravens were up ahead.
转。
Reynardo wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges and stairs.
会，肯定比较便宜。又一个宝箱，转。
The right jewel could really give you an edge.
属性名义。
The wrong, well, it still looked pretty, didn't it? There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest. The mice, and rabbits. Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry too. This was an unhealthy place to be.
30经验值。
anyone put his slinky collection in a strongbox? Thought Renato. Any magic slinkies? Oh, and there was something else.
哦，新的地方。啊
This couldn't be good for global warming.
全球暖化。啊，时间差。Combo breaker。
Danced around
Ho,
the room
ho.
yelling, oh yeah, that's how we do it. It was something he liked to do, but only after he killed all the witnesses. The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark art, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature. The wheels began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war apparatus. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now he had to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of super weapon, he could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy. And if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it.
好啊，让科学家看看好了。
Well, of course. If you've just assembled a weapon out of legend that can exile gods from the world, you'd want to have a scientist or two look at it. And even if they disagreed and he had time, he could ask Calaveras himself. Yes, the observatory would be his objective. Why had the parts of the Sky Ripper only surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had dismantled it? The mad Emperor Isengrim had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Was that why these ancient artifacts were rising out of the ground? How perfect, then, that the Sky Ripper would reappear to be his destruction. And, hopefully this time, just his destruction.
这个拿盾牌的在抖。
Done beautifully. Where was a bard when you needed one?
拽。
Well,
点什么好呢？
That could come in handy in a pinch.
跳！我还没有做这把虚空之剑，所以算了。
A legendary weapon was exactly what the rebellion needed. They were outnumbered. The once kind emperor had become a tyrant. But his ravens stayed loyal, for he fed them his victims, and the other animals were too frightened to rebel. Renato shuddered at what the emperor was trying to do. To bring back the lost gods, the Black Harvest. The Black Sun? No. He would stop that toad, no matter what the risk.
我一直觉得这个破土很可爱。
Renato's path was clear. Let the scientists ensure the Sky Ripper was safe to use, bring it to the rebel base, and then assault the Imperial fleet for the win.
Aha.
This is quite the view, he thought.
哦，真方便。哎。
What was really fun was hooking your... Boy, some people were just liable to explode if you upset them.
Oops.
Renato.
Oops.
It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects. Renato was thrilled. The scientists seemed to think he'd put the Sky Ripper together right. But one toad was worried.
Yeah, the Sky Ripper could tear a hole in existence itself.
There are invisible strings that tie the universe together. If Skyripper cut one, the hole would widen and widen until our whole existence fell into it.
Another toad sighed. Irving still believes in string theory.
At least go see Calaveras.
Yeah, said the worried toad.
He knows more than anyone else has forgotten about the Transcendent Emperor.
If anyone could tell him how to use this weapon safely, it would be Calaveras. It was he who had told Reynardo how to find it in the first place. But maybe he had to give up on using it as a weapon. Maybe he had to go to the secret rebel base and ask the generals there what he could do with a weapon that he dared not use.
One way or another, there had to be a safe way to use it.
当然是选这个啦。
Well, he should have known he'd have to consult Calaveras again. The scientists at the observatory were smart enough. But what did they know of the Transcendent Emperor? He hoped it wouldn't delay him too long. The rebels had scheduled the final battle soon. Every day they delayed risked the exposure of the secret base. And some soldiers were already drifting back to their homes and families. Calaveras would fix the Skyripper for him. And then he would win the final battle.
Maybe it was the cold. But after a few steps, Reynardo's optimism started to slump.
What if Calaveras couldn't help? Did Reynardo dare use the Skyripper? Oh, he hated that he had chosen this path. It was so much simpler to rescue friends and attack enemies. Even if some of those friends were more trouble than his enemies, some of those enemies had been friends before and might be lovers after. No, okay, it wasn't all that much simpler, no. Physics made his brain hurt. That, at least, he was sure of.
A chest full of old banana peels. There had to be more.
一直香蕉香蕉皮。
There was.
With the new aerobics crate. Am I right?
Oh folks, new tricks. Hmm, 我需要找一个武器台。
It was time for a little exploration.
Oh, this really didn't have much in the way of safety features, did it?
Oh 我靠，被炸到，靠！超痛。
He tried to focus on the now. The ravens who seemed everywhere all the time. Where did they hatch from? Were there giant raven hatcheries somewhere, or did they have families? Ooh, he didn't want to think about raven mummies raising their darling raven chicks. Yeah, Calvaris would help. He would make Renato feel better about using the Sky Ripper. And then Renato wouldn't have to worry about ravens ever again.
好久哦，这个
Renato's paws were getting numb. Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? If only he had some way to break the ice. Or convince it he was a friend.
好摸它鸡。有一个很久的。哦。看回来，虽然派出去了8艘船警返回了3艘，对于殉职者，我当然给予哀悼。但幸存的人带回来的消息真的十分珍贵，他们的经历实在不可思议。哦，雷娜的啊，他们以前是情侣啊。
Sometimes, Renato really hated inanimate objects. Who are these guys? They seem to make everyone else harder to kill.
治愈增强。哇，好快速度！
Yours, said Renato, but he couldn't hear his enemy's answer.
哦，这种就是看过所有的敌人了吗？攻击速度，哎，好，好。暴击率，哎，这个也不错。
Give me a lever, said Archimedes, and I shall open a gate. The rebels were counting on Renato. He hoped Calaveras knew what he was doing.
Nice.
Hoped his hook didn't break.
Aha.
Calaveras had never let him down.
Yeah, of course I can make it work better.
But when Renato explained about the strings, Calaveras grew thoughtful.
Oh, strings, you say? Well, the Arcana do speak of the ties that bind the world.
He drew many intricate symbols in the dirt.
Yeah, so, according to my calculations, each time you fire, I'm afraid there's a 1 in
Oh,靠
120 chance you'll destroy the universe.
That's pretty good odds. That's like rolling, what, 21 dice and they all come up 6. What are the odds of that?
What? No! It's more like 2.716s in a row.
Anyway, with those odds, it won't happen if I use it just once, Renato said. Although he wasn't sure that was entirely right.
Yeah, no, that's not right. Each time you use it... Okay, look, just don't use it ever.
All right, I guess.
可
As he
惜，
sailed towards the fleet, Renato could see the dropships of the rebels coming out of the clouds. This was it. The big battle. They could not afford to lose this one. What if it didn't go well? What if he had to use the Sky Ripper? Could he risk the entire universe in the throw of a dice? On the other hand, what were the odds of rolling 21? Or was it 2.71? 6s in a row. He had a feeling they were surprisingly good. That is, bad. Anyway, the odds were big. His brain was hurting again.
但就选择要不要用了。
The battle was not going spectacularly well. What had the
No
rebels
other
been thinking?
choice.
They'd been thinking he would bring the Sky Ripper, or the Iblis Stone, or that he'd sideline Zenobia
possible.
somehow, or turn her. Couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all, if chances were 1 in
Ooh.
128, that meant he'd for sure be okay the first time. They'd get worse each time he used it, but the first time would be okay, right? He wasn't sure that it was right. So he didn't fire the Sky Ripper. He just brought it along, in case.
Mm-hmm. 哎呀，控时不够，不然可以走这里。
Once you try it, you're hooked.
You hook. Oh, nice.
Burnt fur. His.
他自己的。啊哈。 点那个火是干嘛的？哦，这是哪里？啊 ，nice！ 虚空剑啊！要赶快把虚空剑做出来了。
Shall we dance? Could lead Raven.
Perfect.
A very clever engineer named Elon Muskrat got his start making floating platforms. Not many people knew that.
Haha，直接炸死。
Someone had told him the odds didn't change just because you'd had a streak of good luck. His gut told him that was wrong, though, and he always listened to his gut. On the other hand, 128 chances to win, but one of them would destroy the universe. That seemed a bit serious. Maybe he could defeat the Emperor without firing the Sky Ripper. Maybe he could bluff, but with a real weapon. Like in cards, when you had 3 knaves, but you pretended you had a fizzbin. That could work.
挺小声的。
Those flames really bring out your eyes.
"这个城就是解得莫名其妙。哟！None.
He set up the Sky Ripper and let it warm up. He would bluff if he had to. Zenobia came out, flanked by a very daunting platoon of ravens. You won't actually use that, she said in that annoying, I know everything because I'm a cat and you know nothing because you're just a fox voice she had. Oh, I know the odds. Good, because there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No? Yeah, sure. The first time, the odds are practically nothing. They only go up if I use it a bunch more times. No, but that's not how odds work. Didn't you pay attention in class? Now surrender, or I'll use it. Just once, he said. Don't. He felt sure the odds were with him. He had to go with his gut. That's what heroes do. Fire, he said. Please? The Skyripper fired. With a tremendous whoosh, the Emperor's flagship went up in flames. It was awesome. Then he noticed there was a hole in the air. A blackness, like a tear in a parchment. Wind was blowing into it, widening it. It grew larger and even larger. Crates fell upwards into it, and the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror, as it poured into the ravenous hole. Ah, 1 in 128. What are the odds? Thought Reynardo, and then everything fell into the hole and was gone. Reynardo stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it?
Oh.
Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. And he hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.
好了，那我这样子也解了2个结局，1个真相。哎，等一下，4个真相，一个是同伴，另外一个是那个猫，第3个是什么？石头吗？那是什么石头的？没关系，这4个其实还蛮明显的。好，今天就先解2个结局。好啦，那就先这样子啦。